This is your tropical weather update for Sunday, July 1st. As you can see, the Hurricane Center has dropped any of the aforementioned highlighted areas in the Atlantic Basin, and the Eastern Pacific remains quiet. At the surface, you can see that there's a tropical wave passing through the Lesser Antilles, but it is showing no signs of development. And there's also another series of tropical waves between 30 and 50 degrees west longitude, but both of these are also encountering unfavorable conditions. The latest satellite confirms that South Texas in northern Mexico is still receiving some beneficial rainfall, whereas much of the remainder of the tropics are fairly quiet. We only see some shower activity to the southeast of Bermuda, but this is more so in association with a non-tropical upper-level low, and the tropical wave near the Lesser Antilles is likely to remain at a low latitude and continue westward into Central America. The water vapor imagery confirms that conditions across much of the Atlantic Basin are currently not conducive for tropical development. The latest 200 millibar vertical velocity analysis from the Climate Prediction Center verifies that we also have some very dry sinking air across much of the Eastern Pacific and Atlantic basins, and until this dry air begins to subside, we're going to be really limited in the tropical potential that we see over the next 5 to 10 days. The latest 6-day forecast from the CMC model shows little to no activity until we get into the day 6 forecast time period, and that is when it does begin to develop at least a suspect area of low pressure in the Eastern Pacific. Also by days 6 and 7, the GFS model also appears to be latching on to the same system in the Eastern Pacific. Furthermore, the ECMWF model has been leading the way for the idea that development could occur in the East Pac between 5 to 10 days, and the latest forecast as of day 5 from the European model does show a broad 1007 millibar surface low, and it does steadily develop the system into a tropical cyclone by day 7. The good news is that preliminary model guidance is indicating that any system that does form from that particular feature will remain to the south of Mexico for at least the next 10 days. Meanwhile, the biggest weather story today continues to be the dangerous heat that will be centered over the southeast United States, along with the risk of severe thunderstorms later this afternoon, primarily centered over the Carolinas. Here is the latest look at the heat advisories, and record-setting temperatures are expected across this region once again today. As of 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we still have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for extreme northwest North Carolina into southern Virginia, but we expect more watches to be issued later on this afternoon. In fact, a mesoscale discussion is currently in effect for portions of southern New York. So it looks like it's going to be another active weather day across the eastern seaboard. And the latest guidance from the Storm Prediction Center shows that we have a high risk of damaging winds and also even significant hail centered over South Carolina and North Carolina. So that is your weather roundup for this afternoon from the Hurricane Tracker app and 28storms.com. We'll see you again here tomorrow.